Beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Conversations Unleashed. It is me, Michael Bonner, and I am so glad that you are here. Shout out to the Apple Podcast and the Spotify Podcast family. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I want to let y'all know I had on the black suit earlier today, y'all. I had the episode done. I went to Ron Clark Academy. Today is Sunday for me, August the 10th. It's my brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Dre. I love you so much, my oldest brother. Y'all, I went to go review that footage and edit it. The microphone was doing the most again. So here I am in Oklahoma right now currently, and I am filming from my hotel room. And sometimes you have to do what you have to do. But I'm doing this to let all of you know I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated to make sure that you have the best podcast experience possible. So thank you for tuning in. I want to shout out all of you for supporting this podcast. And as I told you, we're only going to get better. We've been inside of South Carolina, Alabama, Idaho. So shout out to all our new listeners and family there. And now I am in Oklahoma this week. I did home visits this week before I went to the airport. You are currently listening to this on this beautiful Monday, if you choose to, on August the 11th. And I'm glad you tuned in. So today is going to be more so a conversation surrounded around knowing when to let things go and when to shut up. Okay, this should be good because these are the episodes now that I get to talk to you about post now that I'm 35. And I'm going to tell you what was happening. I was talking to a leader and an administrator, and y'all, you know how it is. You're talking to people and they start talking about how things are changing. And I started talking about the evolution of things. And you know me, the next piece of technological evolution is AI. So I am there talking and I'm excited. And as we're talking about it, they're just looking at me like I am an alien with 3 heads on top of my shoulders. And I think it struck a nerve in me because I have learned as a person who likes to do well in life, sometimes everyone, you just have to shut up and just show people. So that's why today's episode, it is called Don't Tell Them, Show Them. All right. Don't miss this AI opportunity. This is going to be probably one of the last times I talk about this explicitly because I want to make sure I drive this home. I talked to one of my friends, Sean, and she was saying, yeah, you've been telling us on this podcast. So today I want to really lay out for you why missing an opportunity can be detrimental. And I want to make sure that I feed my people on how this could actually help improve your lives. So let's go ahead and wrap this AI topic up and let's make this a good week. A lot of you are back inside of school. A lot of you are pushing through Q3 inside of your business. And I'm going to give you a little bit of positivity and fuel. All right. So let's get into it. Let's go. One of the things I love about the internet is that you can find things that move you and inspire you. And one quote that just always sticks with me is the one by Winston Churchill, where he says, if you don't take change by the hand, it will take you by the throat. And to me, what that does is it speaks to the willingness, the ability for people to have a priority on we need to embrace change. But now I've been teaching for 13 years and I'm 35 years old, everyone. I've learned that change is something that sounds good, but everybody really does not want to change at times. And I've explained in speeches that some of the people that get on my nerves the most are those that are intellectually stubborn and emotionally constipated. And what do I mean by this? Intellectually stubborn are the individuals that know everything. They know everything. You can't tell them anything. They believe their way is the right way. And even if you explain your point, they are listening to respond and not listening to understand. And then you have those that are emotionally constipated. They have no EQ. They have no understanding of energy and environment within a room. It's really just all about them. And one of the most dangerous things that you could do in this period of time is to be one of those two individuals. When change is happening and there's a window of opportunity, if you choose to be stubborn in any capacity, you are therefore disqualifying yourself from actually making something of yourself or actually creating a solution that will help other people. I'm going to tell you why. Technology is a disruptor. If you've been inside of my classroom at the Ron Clark Academy, you know my classroom theme is technology. But the more advanced technology gets, the more it can disrupt. And when you think about disruption, when you think about something being disturbed, sometimes it's a good thing for whoever it is needs help of change, and sometimes it is a bad thing for those who have become accustomed and built systems on the current operating system, right? AI has come to disrupt so much. Van Jones, I was listening to this podcast, he said it in such a beautiful way. He said that AI has the ability to take the ground right from beneath us, and it also has the ability to take the roof and the ceiling from right over us. And in that quote, what he's essentially saying is this: you have to choose, right? It can be a downfall, like you can fall through the ground because you're not prepared, or it can take the roof off, which represents marginalization, which represents this misinformation, right? And now you can expand yourself and go into realms that you didn't know about because you didn't have access to that information. And I want to make sure I highlight that, y'all. The reason why I'm so adamant on this piece on information is because, or AI, is because of information. The Bible even says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge, right? And when you don't have access to information, you can literally harm yourself. That's why I have a love-hate relationship with social media, because everyone has quote unquote information. A lot of people aren't being vetted if the information is factual or if it's proper for the season of the life that you're in. So what I want to do is, I'm sick and tired of just talking about it now, because I found out as an adult that people are going to be who they're going to be. My job is to plant the seeds of inspiration, of strategies, of discipline, and then you become whatever you want to become. Right? I don't have the capacity to force an adult to change their mind. I have the capacity to use my God-given talents and gifts to give you the information. And then, baby, it's up to you. Right? And that's why Marlo Stoudemire, who, my gosh, from Detroit, he passed away. Rest in peace to him during COVID. And I hope his wife and his children are doing well. And if they ever watch this, I want them to know your husband made a profound impact on my life. In 2017, I was speaking at PINK, which is a People, Ideas, Nature, and Creativity Conference in Sarasota, Florida. And y'all, I was nervous. I was 27, and that was towards the end of the year where I was trying to learn myself as this professional speaker. And Marlo looked at me at I think it's the guy, it's either Harold's or Arnold's Fish Camp or something in Sarasota. I'm getting the first part wrong, but it's called Fish Camp. And y'all, we were sitting there and he was like, young man, you're talented. And what I need you to do from now on, you need to recognize that when you have goals and you're going for something big, don't tell everybody. And he looked at me in my eye. He said, don't tell people you're going to the moon, call them from the moon. Don't tell people you're going to the moon, call them from the moon. Why am I saying this? Well, first point, if you tell a lot of people your plans in this time, and I've lived it in my own business and in my own professional career, people will steal your ideas and stamp them as their own. And let me tell you something, you try to do that now, baby, Bonneville is incorporated and copyrighted. Play with me if you want to. The team of lawyers will come to you, baby. But then number two, some people like to sabotage. I think envy is nothing but love that's confused. And some people just aren't happy for you. So when he says, don't tell people you're going to the moon, call them from the moon, that's a powerful statement. And to relate it to the topic of today, I have said enough that artificial intelligence is here. You've heard it inside of your own circles. You've seen it online. So now, y'all, let's be done talking about it. Let's put some action into this. All right, let's be productive with this. And I have a couple of ways. And here are the three things I want you to make sure that you understand on how to handle AI. OK, there are three ways. And I'm going to say this one time on August the 11th, 2025. And we will revisit this in 2030. There are three ways you need to capitalize upon artificial intelligence. The first way you need to capitalize upon AI is, number one, you need to learn it. This means you have to go in and explore. Outside of ChatGPT, you have Claude, you have Gemini. Those are large language models. Those are generative AI. You can type a prompt in and it spits it back out to you, right? You have to understand that. You have to dibble and play with it. It reminds me of when the iPhones first came out and we were all used to the Blackberries and the T-Mobile sidekicks, right? Imagine if you just said, I will never touch a touchscreen phone ever. You would be years behind. The second one is you need to leverage AI. You have to leverage technology that is powerful than you. Here's a good example. For my business, because I it's smart to, I have an accountant, I have a bookkeeper. They make sure that Mr. Bonner does not owe in taxes, right? Now, for some bookkeepers and some CPAs, you have to pay $100, $250, $300 per hour just to get a question answered. Right? Now with artificial intelligence, I can simply go into one of these large language models and ask a quick question based upon the tax code and ask for it to prove its source and its statement, and then it can just pop it up for me just like that, right? I'm leveraging it for my business. I'm leveraging it in my personal life. I'm not just using it. It's making me more efficient. But the last thing you need to do with artificial intelligence, and I will say this one last time, my beautiful friends, you need to own it. What do I mean own it? We live in a capitalistic society. The American education system is not going to teach you about finances. There are a lot of arguments that can be brought up for this space. Some people say capitalism does not exist without ignorance, meaning that you can't, in the structure of capitalism, there has to be a large amount of consumers, which is why, if you look at us, we consume everything. We celebrate birthdays, Memorial Days, Labor Days, Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, Halloween, Prime Day, Black Friday. We're always spending money, but it is very rare that people are having the conversations that you should spend money into the companies that are running everything, so therefore your money can grow. There's a quote I like that says, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So that's why with artificial intelligence, I've told my fourth graders and my sixth graders that you need to own these companies. Well, who are the top companies? I'll say it for you. NVIDIA is the big dog right now. You have Microsoft, you have Meta, you have Apple. A share of NVIDIA is $180. That's cheaper than a pair of Jordans for a man, right? Or the Ariba Elite Jordan. You need to have more shares of NVIDIA than shoes inside of your closet. And therefore, with those three, learning it, leveraging, and owning it, you're therefore utilizing AI. And you're not just talking about it anymore, you're actually showing people. And let me tell you why it's important. Do I believe that AI is going to replace teachers in different sectors of jobs? Heck yeah. I'm going to tell you why. I think Eric Thomas said it best, that winners win and losers lose. And in that statement, what he's basically saying is this: when you are a high performer and you're a winner, you're always trying to find a way to make yourself better. When you're used to mediocrity and being comfortable, you're cool, you're fine with just the status quo. Microsoft just released a report July the 31st about the top 40 jobs that are most affected by artificial intelligence. To all my teachers that are, a little stubborn, historians are number 2. We are historians in some type of capacity. So I do believe AI is going to be the great equalizer, because if, for example, let's go for me. Let's make it very simple, very simple example, okay? At the Ron Clark Academy, we do not have desks inside of our classrooms as teachers. All right. The philosophy by Ron Clark and Kim Bearden is they want you to be up, and Ron Clark calls it kicking dust. You're moving. You're stirring the dust up in the room. In my previous school I taught at, in some schools, they still have desks where teachers sit behind and actually teach from behind their desk and give out work packets. If you were to select a teacher, right, for your own child, who would you pick? The one that's always sitting behind the desk, or the one that's moving around the room and engaging with the kids? Probably the one that's moving around the room and engaging with the kids. Now let's fast forward and make it a little bit more contemporary. If we look at the current time now, where you may have a teacher that is moving around and kicking it up the dust with the kids and being with them, compare that to a teacher that has now learned AI, leveraged AI, and has the kids utilizing it and their grades are growing from that. Who are you going to select? More than likely the teacher who is more well-versed with AI. I think jobs are going to start eliminating certain positions, and the positions that stay are those that are well-versed inside of this new technology. So that's why I told you to learn it, leverage it, and own it, because it's important. And you can't be the one that falls behind. Here's a good example. This company right here, who I love, Apple. Yeah, everybody got an iPhone. I know. Apple has been one of the major, they call them the Magnificent Seven, top 7 companies in the stock market. Apple used to be number 1. And guess who took over? NVIDIA. Why? Well, Apple has been very slow with integrating AI into their platform. In fact, if you look at the update, they've remade how Siri looks, but Siri still operates the same. Uh-oh. That's a message. That's a message right there. How many people in our life that have done an external makeover, but internally they're still the same? How many times have we said we've changed? And externally we have, but internally we still got that same temper, that same attitude, the same insecurity, the same terrible communication style. Apple is in this pickle right now because they're not innovating fast enough, such as a Microsoft, a Meta, or a Tesla, or others. So you do not want to become the individuals that have fell behind because they're not taking advantage of this opportunity. Okay. So to end this episode out, don't just tell them, show them, right? Don't tell them, show them. Y'all, I've missed opportunities in my life. I don't know about you. I like working, but I don't like working so hard that there's no purpose behind it. Opportunities. 2008, it was the Great Recession. During the Great Recession, I was a Division I basketball scholarship player at Winston-Salem State University, an incredible university. I had a refund check because I won a full ride. My sister came up, y'all, and I went and bought the first iPhone at AT&T. It was by Haynes Mall exit over there somewhere by the AT&T, y'all. And I was flexing. I asked my Lamar Munger and Brandon Hobbs and Jamarcus McClinton, my roommates that was on the team with me. I can get on the internet from my browser. You know, you couldn't even do that. At that time, you had to get on Facebook on a computer. That phone cost me $700. During that time, Apple stock was $20 per share because we were in a recession. If I would have taken that $700 and put it into Apple stock and forgot about it, the same way I forgot about where that phone is at to this day, y'all, I would have had at least $30,000 just sitting there in the cut. I could have been a billionaire. There was a time that me, Michael Bonner, I could have been a billionaire. But the lack of information, which is why we talked about why AI is important and a good disruptor, it robbed me. 2010, I transferred to Elizabeth City State University. I didn't have a full ride there. I had a partial scholarship, so I got a smaller refund check back. My parents needed a wash machine, and they know this story. So I bought them a wash machine with my refund check. They didn't ask me to. I've just always been a giver. During that time, y'all, you could buy Bitcoin just on 2 websites. I didn't know about it. Bitcoin was 8 cents during that time. Y'all, if I would have bought $600 worth of Bitcoin, that $600 worth of Bitcoin will be worth $1.8 billion to this day. I could have been a billionaire. So I'm giving you this information. I am telling you about this because windows of opportunity are not always guaranteed to come back. They're not always there. Contrary to this manifest millennials, some of them are getting on my nerves, y'all. We can manifest anything. We can speak it, yes, but sometimes the moment to strike is now, and some people don't take advantage of it. Wherever you are at in your life, what I am begging you to do today is to figure out 3 ways in how you can incorporate artificial intelligence into your life in a healthy and positive way. I have a new quote that says, technology is amoral. It could either be destructive or divine, depending on who's using it. Technology can be amoral. It could either be destructive or divine based on who's using it or who's controlling it. I'm challenging you today to take advantage of this, right? And have some fun, and to make sure that your generation, your life experience, and the generations behind you are even better. Okay? You all know I love you. I thank you. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. I hope you have an incredible and blessed week. Also, let me tell you something since you're still here. I hope you ain't cut this podcast off yet. This week, we got something new dropping for you. I am finally releasing one of my new series called Always Anonymous. I'm super excited about this because this series is going to impact so many people. It is a safe space where you send in a voice note, 60 to 90 seconds, about what's going on at your job, how you're feeling, any question you may have, a problem you have in your life, and we react to it. Your identity is protected through legal paperwork. Your identity is protected through the AI technology I'm going to use that's going to morph your voice. And it's going to be something spicy and fun, something to look forward to. The first one is dropping this Wednesday. Yes, this Wednesday at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. So make sure you tune in to that. Make sure you support that. And that's going to be our new fun series as we keep pushing on. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. I'm praying for you. Okay? And you know me, if you do things going great, keep winning. If things are going bad, it's just a season. I posted today on my Instagram on this Sunday that we have literally survived every storm you've been through. We have survived. You're still here. All right? So it's going to be okay. This is just a gentle reminder from Michael Bonner that you are absolutely incredible. You are a bright light, and you want to make change happen. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to end this podcast so I can get ready to speak to these teachers in Oklahoma tomorrow morning, which will be Monday, the day you're listening to this. And I pray you have an incredible week. Don't forget, tune into this new episode on Wednesday. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Oh, and I can't forget, legacy over likes. Take care.